What's up, everybody? So this is another nightblade build. This is a one-bar nightblade build, and this is a build that a friend of mine uses every day, and he is obsessed with it. He refuses to move off of it. I find it a little bit trickier to use since I don't get the full kit of the nightblade, as I'm very well used to two-bar, but I've tried it. I like it. It works really well for what it's intended for. So this is a one-bar Bowgank build for the nightblade. So first things first, let's look at our character sheet. As always, I'm running a dark elf. I'm running all stamina. We have all of this because you know exactly what item we're using. I am using the Lover Boon. I am using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, and we are a Vampire Stage 4. With the Vampire, of course you need those good Vampire passives. For our skills, we're running Merciless Resolve, Poison Injection, Focused Aim, Shadowy Disguise, Healthy Offering, and Toxic Barrage. So, first, using Merciless Resolve again because it hits harder than the stamina version. I'm hitting for almost 20,000 with the arrow, and I heal for 57% if they're up close. So if they're up on me, which most times when they're trying to reveal you from hidden, they will be right next to you. Bang, one hit, you're good to go. It'll almost completely heal you. It's a great burst. Poison Injection, as always, just hits in with a DOT. If you're going against another Nightblade, this will reveal them. They'll keep coming out of hiding when the damage tick hits. And also, it's just a really fast secondary attack. I'm using Focused Aim. You can use the other morph for the poison damage, but I'm using Focused Aim just for that 40 meters because I do, when I'm in Cyrodiil, I do a lot of keep fighting, and this, you can be on top of the wall and hit where most people put their ballista, so like, it's really nice, and it's a little bit cheaper. And it also applies the Sundered status effect, so it's kind of like you're ganking with your surprise attack, but at range. Shadowy Disguise, because we're sneaky. And Healthy Offering, because this is one of the best burst heals you can use. You get Minor Mending after you use it. It gives you a crazy upfront, almost 15k health. Now it does hit you with 1,000 health of over 3 seconds afterwards, so that's not perfect, but it's mitigated because of how crazy good the heal is. And then Toxic Barrage, because this is, it's just insane. Like, you hit for 75,000 over 4 seconds, and you're poisoning them for 40,000 damage over 8 seconds after a 1 second delay. So, this is going to just burn people alive, and it is amazing. And this is kind of what you want to do. We want to build our ultimate, and we want to come out and just Toxic Barrage. And if you don't have your ultimate to build it, we're going to kite around the outside of the fight using our Vamp Stage 4 run, where we're invisible. And then we're going to just basically be using our Shadowy Disguise to disengage the combat. And you want to lead with a Focused Aim and then a Poison Injection. Now, when it comes to the champion points, I am running Duelist Rebuff to try to mitigate getting killed as fast. Deadly Aim, Wrathful Strikes, Mastered Arms. Very straightforward, simple, usual champion points for PvP. And then for red, we're using Slippery, Celerity, Boundless Vitality, and Bastion. Now we are running Bastion, which you won't see on a lot of other builds, but I am running this strictly because of the second part of this passive. It increases the effectiveness of our damage shields. We don't use damage shields on this Nightblade build, so that doesn't matter. But the damage against shielded enemies is increased by 3% per stage. So that's 15% more damage done against those pesky sorcerers in that shield they're spamming. And with the footage I put at the end of this, I'm putting a couple battleground footage in there, and then a little bit of Imperial City footage. And in Battlegrounds, we are way squishier than we usually are because we don't have our Boundless Vitality passive. So we are much more squishy. You don't get the Duelist Rebuff stuff. So like we're hitting less hard, and we don't have all of our CP buffs for our health and survivability. But using the Undeath from the Vampirism and utilizing our Disengage with our Shadowy Disguise, we're able to get out of combat, stay out of combat, and still have a good time. But when we have our CP, this eats sorcerers alive. And most of them have to just stand there and just spam their shield. If you even have one other person near you, this is going to open the entire fight up for you, because this is going to completely stop it. So, for sets, I am currently running a one piece of the construct that gives us more weapon and spell damage. Now, this could easily be swapped over, and you could run a one piece of like Kra or something to get your penetration higher, but I'm running 16k pin since we're running the Lever Mundus, so it's not really necessary. But I'm running a one piece of the construct, I'm running a 5 piece of Oakfather's Retribution, and I'm running well fitted in Divines. They're not all on trait because I'm not too worried about it. And then I'm running Oaken Soul infused with the Tri-Stat. We're running 2 infused Tarnished Nightmare jewelry, and then we're running a Tarnished Nightmare bow with Tarnished Nightmare boots. So we're running mostly Divine stuff, which is why our pin is so high with that Lover's Mundus, which you can also switch out to the Thief for crit, or you could even swap it out to like the Warrior for weapon damage, whatever you prefer. I personally like penetration bonuses, because when I'm sneaking around and I see the big red letters say tanky, I know that with their tankiness and Oakfather's, because Oakfather's makes our pin even higher and our weapon and spell damage even higher, this really makes us just a tank burner. So we gain 449 offensive penetration against enemies for each major buff they have active, and you gain 20 weapon and spell damage against enemies for each minor buff they have active. So just going off of that, one of the most popular Sorc builds right now is a 1-bar Sorc build that is all around getting that big beefy shield. As you can see, that's all the stuff you get from the Oaken Soul ring. So every time you see major, that's almost 500 extra pin, and every time you see minor, that's 20 weapon and spell damage more. So we hit them hard, and then add 15% on top of that when those sorcerers spam that shield, and come out of hiding, hitting with Toxic Barrage. And on top of that, our Tarnished Nightmare bow is Nirnhound, so you increase the damage of your weapon by 14%. Everything we're doing right now is built to burn those sorcerers. This is a sorcerer assault build, and I love it because you can come out of hiding. Now, does it pure gank them? No, because it is almost impossible to pure gank a sorcerer that knows what they're doing right now because of how beefy their shields are. Unless you can hit for 100k in a half a second and they're lagging, then congrats, you ganked the sorcerer. But if they know what they're doing, they're not letting that shield down. So it's hard to gank them in general right now. But this build right here, this build hits so hard, so quickly, and so easily that you're able to slam them and just keep moving. Now, if you don't like all of this, with our pen and our base stats, because our base stats are not, they're not low. This isn't something that hits lightly even on a standard person. You can swap out that shoulder and then put on a full set of the construct. Now that changes your rotation a little bit, because right now the rotation you want to run is you come out of hiding. Basically, I stay hidden and I come out of hiding with focused aim from a far distance, and then follow it immediately with light attack, poison injection, light attack. So it's 4 hits fairly quickly, and then we go back into hiding. And we do that until we can build our ult, and then we just come out of hiding, and I'll usually Toxic Barrage into poison injection, but usually they're dead before Toxic Barrage is done. With all of that being said, if you don't like, if you don't see a big, huge benefit, because my friend does run it both ways, if you don't see the benefit of the Oakfathers, like if you're running and you're just running into a bunch of people who aren't running the Oaken Soul ring, or you're running into people who you don't really think that you're getting the full benefit of the Oakfathers, you can just swap that out with the Construct Shoulders, Now mine are in heavy because I have awful RNG in this game, but you can swap it out with the Alzheimer's full set, and then you won't get that 4-piece, but you will get that huge heavy attack damage coming out of hiding. So with that, instead of doing a skill out of hiding, with that you come out of hiding with the heavy attack and follow it up with focused aim, poison injection, and then go back into hiding. So the only difference is you don't come out of hiding with a skill, you come out of hiding with a heavy attack, and that triggers that axe to be thrown, and it hits like a truck. So it's really up to you. I suggest you play with it. Like I say on all my builds, it's an outline. You're supposed to take what I say and show you, and then put it towards your play style. But yeah, that's the build. I have a little bit of footage of combat after this for you guys to check it out, see how you like it, and yeah, check it out. Let me know how you think. This is a ranged Bowgank build that is a 1 bar for the people who hate swapping bars. So yeah, thanks. Like, subscribe, come hang out. Yeah, thanks, guys.
I just hope that someone would love me.